Hello and welcome to my latest video. This one has been requested. I post a lot of my notebooks on Instagram, and one of my followers on there said to me, Helen, how many notebooks do you have and what on earth do you do with all of them? So I said I would do a video all about it, thinking I only had 3 or 4 notebooks to talk about. Turns out I've got 10. The notebooks are used for very specific things, and I've only got one notebook actually that I use for everything, and it's the one I carry about with me in my bag or in my car, or if I go away I always have that one with me. But this one is a very old notebook of mine, and it's actually falling apart, which is why I need this little clip on the side here. And the reason why I've put thoughts and ideas here is because I do have a little scuff mark on there, and it's one that I got from my husband many years ago. I actually ripped out the first few pages that were in here because it was something I wrote, like I say, years ago, and had no relevance to today, and so I thought I would use this to make my notes on my Instagram, because over the last few weeks I have changed it a little bit, and I wanted to record the changes I've made and what happens to the analytics side of things. I've only written on 3 pages because it's all very new. So that's that one. And then this one, which I have done many a video on, and it's appeared in a lot of my Instagram pictures as well. I've talked about it a lot. It is a Le Mans bullet journal, and I absolutely love this notebook. It has such brilliant paper on the inside. I've got the grid, but you can get it as line, plain, or dotted, I think. And I just love the paper. There's very little leakage, if you like, from the other side. And I use these notebooks to plan out my goals, my projects, and my tasks. And I do that as a big sort of overview, as well as breaking it down into a month, or I might even write down my YouTube video ideas. I plan out what I wanted to do over the course of a week here, and then my goals for the final quarter of 2019 that I did a video on a few weeks ago. That's all here. More YouTube, and everything is to do in here is to do with my projects and tasks. And as you know, if you've seen that video, my YouTube is one of my big projects for the final quarter, and it's just basically making sense of what I want to achieve during the week or the month, or for that particular project. So that's what this Le Mans notebook is for, and it's not my first Le Mans notebook, and this will show you that I do actually love this notebook. These are ones I've had, I think I've been using these notebooks for about a year. I think one of my first YouTube videos actually was on how I use my Le Mans notebook. It's just such a good notebook. I just love the pages in it. I wish all notebooks could have pages like this. And let me just see, for example, now this is my fountain pen, and it's not actually appeared through on the other side, but it's such a good notebook, and I really like them. There we go. Okay, so my next notebook is this one. It's a very thin notebook. I got this for free for a Kate Atkinson sponsored Instagram post that I went to London for, and they gave us a little goodie bag, and I thought I'd use this for sketching out some ideas for another novel idea. And that's pretty much, I've only done a few pages in here because it's not one of my goals for this quarter. It's going to be something I come back to in 2020. But if I think of anything in the meantime, as that's how your mind works, doesn't it? I would just pop it down in this notebook so I can refer back to it when I'm working on that particular project. And the washi tape, I'll come back to the washi tape in a minute. Okay, this notebook is the one I referred to at the beginning of this video. It's the one I use for everything and I carry everywhere with me in my bag, and as such it's a little bit battered. This book was from Jules. It was a gift from a friend of mine for my birthday last year, and it's got a lovely little dog on the front, look. And it's actually such a good notebook to have. I have used this to jot down my morning pages or an essay idea, or it might be something to do with Instagram, or it might be something that I start writing down and I think, well, actually, this should be a goal for the next quarter. And that's what happened here when I was just writing down some random thoughts on the week ahead. I've got various lists in here, and you'll notice that I've got different coloured washi tape that I use. And this tree autumnal one, for example, means that what I've written here relates to a possible essay idea, and the autumnal washi tape is actually there on the front of my notebook that I use for my essays. Blue with white spots on is actually the washi tape I use when I'm talking about characters in my novel or plot for my novel or anything to do with my novel, which is what this notebook is. And so I put the washi tape there just to identify it when I'm flicking through later, and I can either copy it into the other notebook or I just know it's there and I can use it as a reference. And then here I've got the pink jagged line, and that relates to this notebook, which is my YouTube notebook. So yes, this is my little battered journal, and I use it for lists, for morning pages, for YouTube ideas, anything and everything I use it for. That is basically my brain dump journal, which is what a journal is, isn't it? Okay, I have referred to this already, but this is my YouTube notebook, and it's actually now full. I finished it the other day, and in here I have written out scripts for my YouTube videos. This one is how I use Instagram as a writer. That was a video quite a few months ago, and as I mentioned in my Instagram post today, actually, when I'm writing my scripts for my videos, particularly when I'm talking straight to camera, that's more when I need a script. But I even write, hello, I'm Helen Redfern and welcome to my YouTube channel. I just find it easier to know it's there, and then I don't have to think when the camera comes on, and then you get that kind of panic because you know you're being recorded. So if I just have everything written down that I want to say, and just having it there, I don't always refer back to it, but just the act of writing everything down sets it in my head, and so it's a really good thing to do, and it helps with the editing process. So it doesn't take me so long to edit because everything is in an orderly, structured fashion, and pretty much all I have to edit is all the umming and ahhing that I do. So this is my second video about how I'm creating a journal of my Instagram photographs, which is what this is. And I mean, I'm not precious about it. I will get messy. And then this was my final video from last week, what I've learned from growing my YouTube channel to over 1,000 subscribers. And I wrote everything down there, and then I got to the end of the notebook. So what did I have to do? This is a Leuchtturm 1917 soft cover B5, I believe, notebook. So as that one is now finished, I purchased an orange version, and this is going to be also for my YouTube scripts. And I actually did an IGTV of me opening this up the other day, and all I've done so far in here is written down my notebooks in October, which is what this video is all about. You'll notice I haven't written a script for this. I've just essentially written down the books that I want to talk about. It's not me talking straight to camera. I find it a bit easier to discuss basically what's right in front of me. So these are my 2 YouTube notebooks. This one is also a Leuchtturm B5, and you'll notice that it's got the washi tape on, and this washi tape refers to my essays. And my essays are all about online creativity, writing online, YouTube, Instagram, blogging, all that sort of thing. So in here I have, this was me planning out an essay that when I reread through it I didn't actually like, so it needs either a lot more work or I need to completely rethink what I'm talking about. But as I was doing it, I knew I was getting into a muddle in my head, and that's why I think I wrote the different boxes for the beginning, the middle and the end, and then drew the arrows to the relevant bits. And then, has Instagram stolen the last 5 years of my creative life? And that is going to be my next essay, and that is why I've started writing down lots of different things about Instagram in both this notebook and this notebook. And this one is more about the analytical side of Instagram, and this one is more about my thoughts. Well, this one is basically when I'm out and about and I'll have some ideas about Instagram and I'll jot them down in there. If I'm at my desk and I have ideas about Instagram that I think would be good for an essay, I'll write it in here. But this is more when I know I'm at the essay stage rather than the idea stage. If I sat down with this straight away and said, right, you're going to write an essay about Instagram, here's your, empty page, then I would probably seize up and not be able to write anything. It's all got to come naturally in thoughts over time. So that's my essay notebook. Like I say, that's another Leuchtturm one. So I've got 3 of those Leuchtturm softcover B5 notebooks, and I really like them for the purposes of sketching out ideas that are going to become either scripts or essays or even blog posts. They're really good in that respect. This one is also a soft cover, but this one is a moleskin, and this is actually a diary or a planner. I think it runs from now, so September 2019 until December 2020. So it's one of those that work as a school year, which I actually prefer. And I mean, I'm not going to show you what's inside this because this is where I put all my children's appointments, all my children's activities. or if I've got appointments for the dentist or physio or anything like that, that's what I will put in here. And then all down the side I'll either have post-it notes, because with the moleskin I do find that the ink leaks through to the other side. Otherwise I absolutely love it. But I do tend to use a lot of post-it notes, and if I'm doing a little task of things to do with the house or a shopping list or something like that, and I haven't actually done it that week, then I would just flick the page and re-put it there and tick the items off as I go. So that's my moleskin yearly planner. What I actually like about this is that it's big. I'm not keen on the little pocket-sized diaries. I like to have a lot of space to write, so that is perfect. And then this is another moleskin, but this is a hardback moleskin. And this is what I use to plan out my novel, and that is why you've got the blue and the white washi tape here. And it could be something that I need to write in longhand, or it could be me working out external goals, story core. And sometimes I find I need to write things in longhand rather than on the computer, and it just helps to think. And that's why I started writing here a particular scene out in longhand. I don't do it very often, but I do it when I'm a bit stuck. So this was probably from last year, and then more recently, these are the grids that I've done videos about earlier this year, all about how I'm editing or writing my novel, which I will link below. So these are the different acts that I've done. So yeah, that's everything to do with Burnt Chocolate, my novel. And then finally, this is the Traveller's Notebook, and I've got a few inserts in here. This is going to be all about my Instagram, and I have talked about this on a number of videos, but essentially it occurred to me that if Instagram ceased to be, then I would lose a lot of my photographs. It's been nice to look back at all the adventures that we had at our old house, and it was very seasonal and a lot of animals. There's a pig there, Lord. Not that we had a pig, but I was just thinking about having pigs. And there are the ducks, and I just wanted to print them off so I had a memory of them. And like I say, I've done videos on these, so if you'd like to have a look at how I did all this and how I printed them all out and everything, then I will link those videos for you below. So that is all of the notebooks that I'm using at the moment. I will link all the ones below that I can link. So I've got 2 moleskins, I've got this Traveller's Notebook, I've got these 3 Leuchtturm B5 soft cover. I don't think you can get this one anymore from Jules, which is a shame because I really like the notebook. And I would get some more of these actually. This is obviously a really old one. This was a freebie, and then the Le Mans notebooks I will also list down below for you. So thank you very much for watching my video all about my notebooks. Hope you enjoyed this. Please do give it a thumbs up and click on the subscribe button, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye for now. Bye.